Hi everyone, my name is Karthik. I'm the CEO of Persist AI. It takes pharma about 5 years right now to develop these long lasting drug injections for chronic diseases such as cancer and diabetes. And at Persist, we use AI driven automation to reduce this to 2 years, so roughly a 50% reduction. The injections we make can last from 1 day up to 1 year. And as an example, cancer patients can benefit greatly from taking a single injection per year instead of coming to the doctor every week for an injection. So here what you see is how our long lasting injections are made. Each injection has millions of these tiny microspheres, and inside the microspheres you have the drug, which is shown in purple. And once these spheres are hydrated, the drug leaks out through the pores, and the spheres start degrading as well, and eventually the spheres disappear. So here you see what our automation system looks like. We need to test thousands of formulations to figure out, which drug goes with which polymer and other additives in order to meet the targets of our pharma partners. And so we've designed a series of custom robots that do the different actions. And the data from these robots is uploaded into the cloud. The data is then used to feed our ML, which makes predictions about what to do next, experiment by experiment, and also client by client. So as you can imagine, we generate a lot of data and we need a place to store all of it so that we can access everything. And the challenge is that we have structured data, we have unstructured data. We also have stuff in the real world, like the location of reagents. And then we've got stuff that's in the cloud, like the experiments that we're collecting. So all of this needs to be in one nice accessible location. So let me orient you with this slide, right? This was the past. Our workflow involves running our robotic system and then generating data for our ML and for our customers. So going from left to right, you see the workflow, which is taking raw materials, taking these protocols, feeding it to the robotics, generating a bunch of data, and then analyzing. Pretty standard workflow with some robots in the middle. And so to run the robots, we need to provide these reagents, which are then formulated. And we also need to provide these protocols and configurations. Before Scispot, we were storing all of this in Excel sheets. It's the classic startup thing to do, right? Then when we use the material, we would deplete that in inventory manually. And similarly, protocols were stored in Word documents and all the configs were hard coded into the automation. So no flexibility, everything's manual, very clunky, but it's a startup. The data from the robots were then stored in Excel and then manually analyzed, right? So this is pre-Scispot. We chose Scispot because it was a great next step from Excel. There's this thing called Pico that they sell, which a small company like us can use, and then we can pick and choose the features that we want. We also got a dedicated scientist who somehow knew a lot about formulation before she even talked with us. And then she made sure that we were set up correctly. She worked with the engineering team, mostly bugging Satya here to get us the right features for our work. And so in our current state, you can see the differences in the diagram, right? The unstructured work that's done in the lab is stored in documents within Scispot. And those documents look like Word. If we want, we could access this through the UI or programmatically. Most of the time, it's kind of like a lab notebook. But in the future, we'll probably apply some kind of a private LLM to really analyze this information. But we're just not there yet. The structured information, like the materials and the configurations for the robotics, they're stored within the Scispot database, and we access this all through the API. We've also got a few Jupyter notebooks that are, or well, Jupyter files, let's say, that are inside that allow us to do some of the data munging. And all of this, because it's API access, now the robots can be configured automatically. And all the data that the robots generate goes back into the database inside Scispot. And what's cool is that Scispots allowed us to do more than just the routine lab work. We're actually using it to not only train our ML, but also expose a portal where our pharma clients can come and take a look at the data that we've generated for them.